Welcome to the Sound Parlour Coffee House Sessions. I'm Jan Hall from Folk Roots Radio. Liv Cazzola and Braden Phelan make sweet music together as Tragedy Ann. With great chemistry and wonderful gentle humour, they've been charming listening rooms across Ontario and beyond, with their folky mix of beautiful harmonies, ukulele, accordion and guitar. They released their first EP, Stumbling, in 2016, and now they're working on their first long player. There are special guests in the studio today. They're coming up right now. Enjoy.
This next tune is called The Last Thing, and it's the result of a greatest hits of terrible relationships that I had in my past, and the effect that can have on you, and wanting to step away from that, but having a hard time doing that. One smoke left and it's scaring me. It's staring out where my match should be. A match for you, a match for me. We just don't match together anymore, it seems. We blew the fuse, we frayed the seams, dug up the hatchet and buried our dreams. But hope springs eternal and we found a stream, so we're crossing our fingers while we pack to leave. And I want it, but it's the last thing I need right now. And I want it, but it's the last thing I need right now. Kidding ourselves to buy some time, but we both know we're far from alright. We fought so hard to have more fights. When my cat killed your canary, should have seen the signs. And I want it, but it's the last thing I need right now. And I want it, but it's the last thing I need right now. We had one straw left and I think it sucks, but if it wasn't too much, I was never enough. It's as crazy with as it is without, so I guess we'll accept that this is what love's about. And I want it, 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 but it's the last thing I need right now. And I want it, but it's the last thing I need right now. And I want it, but it's the last thing I need right now. And I want it, but it's the last thing I need right now. Last thing I need right now. Last thing I need right now. A match for you, a match for me.
I'm not sure if anyone can relate, but as soon as I hit the couch, I'm down for the count, ready for sleep. And that could be difficult when you're trying to watch a movie. That's what this song's about. It's called Snooze.
Sometimes you fall asleep when we watch a movie. Sometimes you don't make it 15 minutes in. Seems like all you need for you to be cozy is to hear my heartbeat and credits to begin. That's okay with me, I'll be the guy at your side. That's okay with me, I'll be the dude you snooze on. Snooze haven't felt my arm for at least half an hour, and all attempts to retrieve it have failed. And I think the mark left from your shoulder will tattoo my ribs like a rose. That's okay with me, I'll be the guy at your side. That's okay with me, I'll be the dude you snooze on, snooze on. Sometimes you fall asleep when we watch a movie. Sometimes you don't make the first dialogue, so I guess I'll eat all your candy. But the sweetest thing here's already nodded off. You wander in from outside, looking for a bite. A worn-out radio plays a song you used to like. A server brings a menu, you better order fast. You're feeling almost certain that she could kick your ass. She rasps the cooks are short-staffed, you better get a beer. And you wonder how you managed to land in here. It's like they broke the vacuum, sucking up the light, and your server has succeeded in warming up your pie. They charge you $30, tell you to quit your bitchin'. You swear that you heard screaming coming from the kitchen. You risk a sip of your beer and find it's mostly foam, while at the bar they're singing soft and low. The neon and velour covers the decay. They take you for a tour and then they sit you at a stool and soon you're singing. Hope is hard to come by in this place. Hope is hard to come by in this place. A man comes to your table, invites you to his booth. He's pleased to introduce himself, the king of greasy spoons. The best of a bad lot, his purpose understood. He only drinks to memories, the present don't taste good. His tongue parades a funeral, his eulogy is slurred. And you realize you've forgotten where the exits were. The neon and velour covers the decay. They take you for a tour and then, they sit you at a stool and soon you're singing. Hope is hard to come by in this place. Hope is hard to come by in this place. So good. The bottom of the barrel never looked so good. It's Mecca for the misunderstood. It's Mecca for the misunderstood. The bottom of the barrel never looked so good. The bottom of the barrel never looked so good. It's Mecca for the misunderstood. It's Mecca for the misunderstood. Neon and velour covers the decay. They take you for a tour and then they sit you at a stool and soon singing. Hope is hard to come by in this place. Hope is hard to come by in this place. Hope is hard to come by in this place. Hope is hard to come by in this place.
So Braden wrote this next song, and it took place when we were both living in London, and we were supporting a friend who really, really needed that support. And it was really hard for both of us, but definitely not as much as him. And this song is kind of a result of all of that love. It's called Odysseus.
You might have to tie me down if I don't come around. I really hope I come around. You might have to let me bleed first. For me to heal, you have to let me hurt. It won't get better until it's worse. One thing I'm begging, when I hear that tune, tie me down. Sirens will take me away to a foreign fragile place. Fates have made my bed for me. Won't you let me leave? The only prison here is me. The only prisoner here is me. One thing I'm begging, when I hear that tune, tie me down. Tie me down.
So tell me what you see that helps you hold me till I sleep. Hold me until I'm clean. We're bound for stormy seas, so chain yourself to the mast with me. This is where we both need to be. One thing I'm begging, when I hear that tune, tie me down. 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 Tie me down.
That's Tragedy Ann in the Quantum Sound Production Studios for another edition of the Sun Parlour Coffee House Sessions, joined by Liv Cazzola and Braden Phelan. And I got to say, I know these people very, very well. Liv Cazzola and her sister Anita were on my radio show. We were actually talking about this before we started the session tonight. And I think it was something like 10 or 11 years ago. And she was very young at that time. I was also quite a lot younger. It's great to have you here. But this is Tragedy Ann. This is Liv with Braden. Mm-hmm. Now, the interesting thing, and I want to get this out just now, is that you are a wonderful duo. We've really enjoyed having you in the studio today.
Thank you.
But you're also part of a larger collective called the Lifers, which features Liv and her sister Anita. Mm-hmm. Did it start as an offshoot, Tragedy Ann? Is that how it happened? Because I know that you met Braden, I think, when you were at university in London, right?
Yeah, it was during my internship year when I was in Toronto that I met Braden. And I think Tragedy Ann kind of happened by accident, and so did Braden's joining into the Lifers. Both of those things just kind of fell into our laps, I guess. It took a while before we ended up actually singing together into our relationship. And finally, when I was able to kind of coax it out of him to let me sing on some of his songs, it felt really beautiful. And eventually we started to make it more and more collaborative, and it ended up being more of a duo than it was me supporting Braden's work. And I'm really glad that we're doing that now. It's awesome because it's so different from what the Lifers do as that full collective, and it fuels me creatively in a completely different way. So it's great to have those both things.
We should mention, actually, as well as playing together, Braden and Liv actually got engaged recently. Now, I don't know if whoever they play with, they get engaged to, but you had there was a wonderful video, I think, that you put up for one of your shows because Braden proposed at the show, and it was, I mean, I'm sure everybody who was there loved it, and those of us who know you very well think it's just wonderful.
There were no boos or objections, so I think it went pretty well.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that's clear when we hear you talk like this is you're obviously very together in life as well as in music, which is wonderful. You play a lot of shows. I mean, you've got the Lifers, which is, I think, a collective, of six
people.
Six people now. This is a duo, but one of the things I love is your choice of instruments. You know, we've got the acoustic guitar, the electric guitar, the accordion, the ukulele. We didn't hear the ukulele in the session tonight, but a nice range of instruments. One of the things I do love is the harmonies, and I guess that's because you get on so well as people. You really enjoy singing together. We actually had a show in Kingsville last year at Merle's that you played, which was a lovely, lovely show.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the live performance.
The live performance. My favorite part of it all. Because it feels, I think anyways, it feels like one of the times where you get to be most yourself, and you get to kind of have a conversation with each other as well as with people that you might know in the audience, people that you don't know. And I love being able to sense what people are feeling in the songs, and trying to tell a story in the most authentic way that we can, and being in it as opposed to just singing the song because you memorized it, you know?
And working with that song and seeing how a song may develop over time, but in a live setting, connecting with an audience, even if it's just one person, and our roommates are very good at being those people that you can depend on to be at a show and just have huge smiles on their faces, and you're my person, and we're gonna.
That's
connect
probably
now.
a requirement to be a roommate.
It was on the contract. It was on the lease. So being able to do that, but then being able to connect with each other, and something that from very early on when I first met Liv blew me away is the connection that her and Anita will have when performing, and It was, again, very early on when there was, I think, a new song or something like that. They were still workshopping, and someone goofed. There's something went a little awry, but you saw this kind of electric look that went between them, and then they were back onto it and recovered so quickly, and without anyone in the audience really knowing. It was only because I had heard the song before that I could tell. And to see that kind of relationship, both as sisters playing together, and the two of us as partners playing together, it's an interesting dynamic.
Sorry, that's one of the things I love is the way that you play off each other. It's quite clear that the comfort level is really great.
Yeah, and I love being able to do that kind of thing with both my sister and my partner, because with Anita, it feels a lot more, obviously, like instinctual in terms of our, genetics. We're 50% the same, and it's really cool to develop it with Braden and have it become feeling pretty much just as natural because of the amount of time put into that, and a lot of things.
So you're starting work on the new album. What does the future hold? What are you hoping that's going to happen over the next year or so?
Money. So much money. Dozens and dozens of dollars. I think for us, we're kind of nerds, and we did a 5-year plan. And we don't plan to adhere to it to the letter. But there are certain things like doing this album and then honoring it by touring and trying our best to really get it out there. And then also learning together and apart. I think the big thing for us is just going out and seeing as much of Canada and the world around us as we can and learn from it.
Well, quite clearly, being in 2 different bands, I imagine you're going to be kept very, very busy.
Yeah.
If people want to learn more about your music, how can they do that?
For Tragedy Ann, you can reach us at tragedyannmusic.com is the website. You can also, we've got Facebook. Our Instagram is TragedyGram. And that's the main way to access us.
Mm-hmm. And then for the Lifers, it's thelifersmusic.com, and then also Facebook and Instagram under those same names. And that's pretty much it for online. We also have mailing lists, which we love to send out once a month, update people about where we're at. And the best way is when you can actually come to a show and we can become friends in real life.
Absolutely. And it's wonderful seeing you play live. It's been great having you in the studio. We have time for one more song. What are you going to play for us?
We're going to play a song called The Light We Have. And it was written after a situation that happened in August, but the thing that happened in that month really brought light into that song. We had played a show in Desborough, Ontario, and they have this beautiful music hall where they host, I think, 2 times a month, a series of 3 performers in the summer. And before we actually played the show, we had dinner with the people who were hosting us. And there was this young woman that joined us, about 5 years old, named Eva. And she was just a joy to have around. She was kind of running around asking her parents what different objects were. What's this? Because she was visually impaired and she was learning about this world around her, and it was really inspiring to see that in its own right. And then partway through that dinner, we got an email saying that we didn't get a grant that we had worked really hard to receive, and we were bummed because it's the way it goes sometimes. And then a few minutes later, Eva kind of piped up out of nowhere, "You get what you get and you don't get upset." And we kind of looked at each other and thought, that's a good thing to keep in mind. And then she said it again, and we said, okay, that's significant. Our moods brightened, and the show went wonderfully. And that line, "You get what you get and you don't get upset," is a pivotal part of the lyrics in this song.
Coming up right now. Braden, Phelan, Liv Cazzola as Tragedy Ann of the Sun Parlour Coffee House Sessions.
Thanks
so much for having us.
Summer's getting old, apples in a basket. Hold on to sunlight when you just can't grasp it. Make these days your own, they're only getting shorter. Build your wall against the night, lay bricks with thinning mortar. I know that talk is cheap, And I'm told advice is cheaper, but to-dos won't get done. As a hibernative sleeper, assemble your team. Together rake the yard up, interrogate the squirrels, find where they hid the walnuts. We gotta love the light we have. It's not much, but after night it comes back. Survive on hot chocolate, live in a cozy sweater, gaze at frozen stars you can only see in winter. They're falling for you. A fleeting secret one day will burn out too, but it ain't our time yet. No, it ain't our time yet. We gotta love the light we have. It's not much, but after night it comes back. Oh, oh, oh. We gotta love the light we have. It's not much, but after night it comes back. We gotta love the light we have. It's not much, but after night